we didn't close the game up, and Wolves are a really good side, really well coached. We had a moment after 1-0 where we weren't really controlling the game and give some balls away, especially inside, which is tricky against them. And then with the ball of Bukayo, obviously, we were much more comfortable.
That intensity you seemed to show for the first 15, 20 minutes even, was that exactly what you were looking for?
Yes, even longer, and there are certain periods that we maintained that, but we couldn't capitalize on that, and there were a lot of actions that we should have finished them much better. Still, the way the boys go about the job and how they try is unbelievable, so overall very happy.
Is that always a worry for a manager when you have that much control in a game, that it is only 1-0 for long periods?
Yes, because this is the Premier League, and the opposition has a lot of quality. When you see the Wolves squad, they put players in that they are real quality players, and we knew that they could change the game if they wanted in the second half, and I think with the changes as well, we became a little bit stronger and better.
Yeah, the second goal as well from Bukayo Saka. After his involvement in the first, is he the sort of type of player that every manager would love to have?
Yeah, for sure. His level of consistency, the amount of time that he's producing goals, scoring goals, is unbelievable. And he's on his first game, 2 contributions.
It can be hard to hit the ground running. Did it look like a team, do you feel, that were really comfortable together and had a lot of togetherness?
Yes, they are. We certainly are. I think we had a really good pre-season, good start, first game, get it away. And there are things to improve for sure. But overall, very happy.
When you say things to improve, what is it you're looking at?
Well, especially the lack of control that we have in moments in the second half, because we gave so many simple balls away. I don't know if it was fatigue or what was it. Credit to Wolves as well, and especially the situation that we had to finish the actions better.
But overall, a great way to start the season.
Very happy.
Well done.
Thank you.
Well, you said you need to be perfect to win the title this season. The perfect start?
Well, it was perfect because we won the game 2-0, clean sheets, and a lot of positives to take from the game. It's always a lot of uncertainty how you're going to start the Premier League, the competition, the level of the opponents is great. And we had some great moments during the game. We suffered in some others, especially in the second half, but we found a way to win the game.
Bukayo Saka, with his 59th goal for Arsenal, very poignantly draws him in line with Kevin Campbell's goals for the club. How much he would have liked to see that crucial goal at that time, and what a clever finish. Yeah, well, a very special day when you see what the crowd did, all the players, everybody involved at the club, the way respect and love we show for Kevin, his family, all the loved ones, and Bukayo to score that with that number, things happen for a reason, and I think it's a beautiful thing that happened today. Certainly was a beautiful thing, and a brilliant save from David Raya. At that point where you see it taken so cleverly and such a reaction finish, did you almost think that was in? Well, yes, obviously it's a bit far, but we don't defend the box well, and then you need your keeper, and he made an unbelievable save. I have to ask you 2 questions in one, but what kind of statement does that send to Manchester City in this title fight? And a Basque player that set alight the Euros in Marino. A lot of people are believing he's coming to this club. How impressed have you been with his form, and would you like to see him here? No, well, I think the message is internal for ourselves, that we want to start competing in the Premier League the way we wanted, the way we started, and we are really happy with that. And regarding...
In a season where there is clearly no room for error, Ian, especially if you're going to catch Manchester City and a case of third time lucky, is that exactly what Arsenal needed?
It's needed to start a winning start. I think they know that. If they know what they're going to have to try and do this season, they're going to have to try and get 90-plus points. So you have to start the season well. I thought they did start the game well. I thought Gary O'Neill was right when it was 1-0. They did have a couple of chances, but I thought Arsenal were quite dominant in the game, and they did. And they should have scored some more goals. And that is where you want to see them a bit more ruthless, so they don't have to have that worry of, we've only scored one, we needed another one. Finish games off, kill games off.
Yeah. There was no jeopardy as far as Arsenal were concerned, right? Looking from the outside, watching the 90 minutes.
There's always
because you're never quite sure what you get on the opening day of the season.
There's always... Mikel said it there. Gary O'Neill coaches them very, very well. Well organised, and had a counter threat. I've always thought they was a threat. You're just looking for a superstar amongst your ranks, and they found one in Bukayo today. I mean, the cross for the first goal with Kai Havertz was outstanding. I mean, Kai scored 10 goals now with his head. Out of 33 goals he scored in the Premier League. 10 with his head. I mean, he's a big boy, 6'3", but it was all about his run, getting in front. He's not aggressive. He doesn't jump over people. But when Bukayo puts that in there, it's so inviting. Goalkeeper's in no man's land. But it's just about the movement of him, just waits in the timing, check it back onto his left foot, and then he's in. He just drifts into that area. It makes it look very, very simple.
It's very poor play from Wolves, as you can see. You cannot let Bukayo Saka have that much space to then come in on his left foot to put in a great ball into somebody who, you know, his movement is very good in there. You know, it was a lot easier goal than I thought, and I'm sure that when Gary O'Neill looks at that, he'll be very disappointed with how easy that's come about.
But at 1-0, you were still, I suppose, a little bit nervy, right, Ian?
Well, you are nervy because I feel that Arsenal, they know the margins. And I said, you know, 89 points is not enough. 90 points might not be enough. They know the margins. You cannot afford to be at home 1-0 up and have chances and not take the chances, not square it to somebody to tap it in. So then you could do the same maybe 5-10 minutes later or in the second half when you've really opened the team up and you've played them off the park and then you get your goal. You have to finish these games off. And I think there was the times in this game today, Manish, where I was like, you know something, it's worrying me. There was a good chance they had in the first half. There's a good header from the centre forward. He just
got a great save from
Great save. But again, they've got to be more ruthless because they've seen it's the margins and how small the margins are with City. As you can't afford to slip up in the games.
Yeah. Saka, after that assist, comes up with a goal himself.
Look, in terms of an opening day performance, how pleased are you with that?
Yeah, I think we're pleased. You know, 3 points, first game of the season. We knew it's going to be tough. They're a good side. Obviously, first game, we just had 4 or 5 games, and then it's always tough. But at the end, the 3 points, they count, so we can be happy. But definitely there's some room to improve.
It was such a strong opening 20 minutes. You seemed to set a real intent with that.
Yeah, I think the first 20 minutes were good. We had good chances. I think then we lost a bit the control of the game, and our press didn't work always 100%, but still I think we defended deep very well, didn't allow a lot of chances for them, and yeah, as I said, 3 points.
Playing the central striker role, how important is it for you to be able to score like that and get off the mark quickly this season?
Yeah, I mean, it's important. Definitely, as a striker, you always want to contribute with goals or assists. So, obviously, I'm pleased, but I'm very, very happy about the 3 points, the goals. They're going to come, so I'm happy.
Bukayo Saka had a big role in that goal and then scored a wonderful goal himself for the second. How important a player is he for Arsenal?
Yeah, he's unbelievable. I think there are not a lot of players like him on the planet. He's still so young. I don't know. He looks, in every action, he looks dangerous, and he's young. Still, he can get better. But I think it's very rare to see a young player like this performing on the highest level every week. So I think we're all very happy with him.
And then with the players that you were able to bring on as the game went on, does it show how much strength there is in the Arsenal squad now?
For sure. I think we have a big squad with quality players all over the place. So I think the manager also has said to us that during the season, everyone is important. And we're going to need everyone, especially because we have lots of games.
Get me wrong, but again, he's you see that in the interview, he's a big, tall, gangly sort of person. But again, that's a brilliant header.
Yeah, he's a nice target for Saka when he's cutting in like that, isn't he?
Yeah, he is, and he's not a traditional number 9 that will lead the line. I mean, you look at Haaland, there's periods of the game, 30, 40 minutes, where he's anonymous, but he's happy to stay up and move the 10 yards either side as the play is developing, and that's what Pep wants, a centre-back that keeps the 2 centre-backs away to create space for the midfield players. He's the opposite. He comes in and he links it, but the threat behind then is Saka and Martinelli on the other side. So I know as a centre-back, when the number 9 goes deep, you're very worried about going deep with him, because then on the blind side, Saka makes these runs and Martinelli makes these runs. So you tend to let him go. But he's very good at linking it. He floats around. He does go missing, I agree with Shay, large chunks of games where he's not effective and maybe does require a lot of chances. But he's a good fit for Arsenal, I think. And I don't know if you went and got an out-and-out number 9, you know, that plays up against 2 centre-backs.
Again, you look at strength and depth, and I'm looking at the bench. Jesus obviously was a striker, but is he an out-and-out striker? Probably. And Nketiah, are they the answers to a side that's going to win the Premier League? Because if they don't win the Premier League this year, they failed again. And I know that second, people say he's done great, blah, blah, blah. but the dog's name's going to have to get changed to something else. They can't call the dog Win if they lose this season again.
A bit of a break here and there, but maybe he's just one of these physical specimens that's able to handle all of it.
A cheeky smile to the cameraman on the pitch at the end there. You see he's enjoying his football.
Loves it, yeah.
You know, he's enjoying life at Arsenal. It's a fantastic club. It's a massive club, and again they'll be close to winning the Premier League this season.
What do you got? He got 20 goals last season, which is his best ever, 16 in the Premier League, as well as all the assists and everything else he brings to the table. I mean, this guy's one of the phenomenon, really, isn't he?
Like, he's obviously physically very durable. You know, you don't play that many minutes and many games, but I always think when you play that many games, to stay mentally tuned in, because sometimes you get physically tired, your mind drifts, your form drips, you don't make the same runs, you don't make them with the same intensity. But he has an appetite for football, a desire for football, and he obviously loves showing up every day and putting in the huge effort that he does. And long may it continue for Arsenal, because he's a superb player and a role model for so many young kids.
So the signs are very promising, you're saying, based on today, or are you reading anything into what you saw today?
I know, like we said at the top of the show when we were talking about title chat, it'll be business as usual for Arsenal. They will be thereabouts.
They'll get in and around the 89 they got last year.
It'll be Man City and Arsenal for me. Again, you know, if Arsenal can add a couple of players before the end of the window, it might give them that little bump. Man City obviously with the asterisk next to their name because of the points deduction possibly, but I promise you, 2 or 3 games to go, Arsenal will be right in the mix.
Well, just on the additions that they might make, as Rob mentioned, I think in commentary, there is big news out of Spain today, and that is that the Real Sociedad player Mikel Moreno, the Spanish international, he scored that goal against Germany in extra time at the Euros to get them through the quarter-final. He looks like he's going to be signing at this stage. He's been left out of their squad for their match tomorrow. The manager says, I've left him out of the squad as there are talks with other clubs. This is the best solution now. So that sounds like he's gone. Apparently Arsenal have been offering around 21 million. They're now up to around 30 million. Looks like this guy could be playing very soon in the Premier League.
Well, hopefully they've agreed a fee before today, because we've seen at the end of the game Declan Rice has gone off as well and looked like he's...
A bit of cramp or something?
Well, you hope as an Arsenal fan... that
There he is, yeah.
Yeah, you hope it's cramp as an Arsenal fan, because my worry for Declan Rice, he played all the way up to the final. The 14th of July was his last game. He had probably 2 weeks holiday and he's back training again, and he covered the most ground of the Euros as well. So this guy hits everything on the pitch. The likes of Moreno would be a great addition, of course he would. But I'm just saying about that fee, if the Real Sociedad owners looking at thinking we can stick another 5 million on because they're desperate to get a sitting midfielder.
You made that point earlier. They do need more depth in that position.
The volume of minutes that he plays is incredible, Declan Rice. But just to go back to what Shay said there, finished on mid-July, he would have had 2 weeks to go on holidays and down tools and switch off mentally. But Arsenal would have wanted him back in the building around 1st or 2nd of August just to get a look at him. The lad said in commentary he'd be match fit. He'd be semi-match fit, but he wouldn't have exerted any huge amount of effort in the 2 weeks. They would have just got him up to speed, and hopefully then the games he can get up. But you saw he went down with cramp there, and that's not surprising because he probably did take a break after the Euros.
Are we expecting too much of these guys? We're talking about Saka there, we're talking about Declan Rice. Is it a bit insane that they're...
Well, that's a different discussion now. Yeah. When you look at, Winter World Cup potentially on the horizon now, when you look at the FIFA Club World Cup that's coming up in the summer, players aren't robots, and eventually players will tire and you will see a drop off in quality, because players can't, what I said with Saka, mentally get up for it because they're jaded. Then you will see a drop off in quality. Perhaps you can make that argument for what we saw in the Euros, that it wasn't quite as blistering as what it might be. A lot of players did look a little bit fatigued, and I know there's a case going on with FIFA Pro now against
this Club World Cup
issue. So somebody's recognising that is the case, but you have to accept, and I agree, the person at home will say, well, these players are getting paid X amount of money, they should do it, but everybody has a limit, and the physical toll that these players are exerting every week, it's difficult.
Funny, I actually get the sense that you mentioned that. I think that fans in general, are more accepting now that these players are being asked to play too much. Damien said it at the Euros, you'd even see it. It used to be the case, they're millionaires. Yeah. I think people recognise now, actually, you can't just flog them endlessly.
Especially all the top clubs and international clubs or teams that have got sports science. I mean, it's moved on a lot since we played. It's everyone knows exactly what you've covered, what you've distance and stuff, and they're not robots. I know they get paid big monies and good luck to them, but at the same time, they're human beings. And if you're asking every 2 or 3 days to play at that level and that maximum, they're going to hit a brick wall eventually, and then the quality of football drops as well.
Physically, the sports science will get them, and these players probably are durable enough, the likes of Saka, but it's mentally, because you're going in every day. Like Arsenal will be playing every 3 days now up to Christmas. They will get no days off, the odd one possibly, but they'll be flying to Europe, they'll be coming back, they'll be playing cup games. You notice that you're going into training, you're tying up your boots again, and you're thinking, what day is it today? We've match day -1, we're getting ready, and it just all becomes a bit of a blur, and mentally you just get a little bit fatigued, and that's when you see the drop off in quality.
But that's what the Premier League don't want. They don't want the quality to drop off. because this is the best league in the world. This is what everyone watches around the world. And if you're asked to do that, and as you mentioned, extra internationals, Club World Championship next summer, there's Champions League games out of this year, more and more games. No one seems to be listening to the players on that. That's my concern, and they have to be really careful.
Do the managers have to listen to the players though? And I'm sure Saka isn't asking for a break, but maybe does Arteta have to get ahead of the ball here, as an example, because we're talking about Arsenal today, and say, listen, I don't actually have to play him at home against Wolves in the open.
But there's so many markers now from the sports science department. These players are monitored from the titling squad there for a sustained period of success for Arsenal.
So I think we're saying it's probably a Man City against Arsenal title shootout again this year. I know it's early to make predictions, but that's what a lot of people are looking at. Top 4 could be very interesting because there's so many contenders this year, and Newcastle are one of them. Shay, certainly going by today's result, 1-0 win against Southampton with Fabian Schär sent off in the opening half an hour.
Yeah. Well, before the game, but like today, I thought, Arsenal at home to Wolves is a comfortable. I thought Newcastle at home to Southampton, one of the promoted teams, that's a comfortable 3 points. But when you get a man sent off and you play a long period of the game with 10 men, you're hoping probably even for a draw wouldn't be the worst result with 10 men. But to get the win again will give them huge belief that they can have a successful season. I think the other thing for Newcastle this year is because obviously they don't have Champions League football. Yeah. In fact, they don't have any European football this year. They can really kick on this season and maybe strengthen before the window closes as well. But there's Chelsea, obviously Liverpool, Man United. There's so many clubs. It's nearly like a title race with Arsenal, I think, and City. We both agree. But there's actually a really big race for top 4 as well.
Yeah, Chelsea played Manchester City tomorrow. Which 11 players are going to put in? There was an amazing clip went out during the week of you saw it, Shay, the training ground. They're all in the gym. Seems to be about 40 or 50 of them. And this is their playing squad.
It looked like a portable gym that they had to build because they couldn't fit everyone. The one that was in the building doing their prehab before training starts. But look, you just hope somebody has a plan at Chelsea and Maresca some way.
It's mad, like, because Pochettino at the end of last season, they won 6, they got in the top 6, they won loads of games, they had some momentum, and he gets sacked the week after the season. It's crazy what's going on at Chelsea.
Have you got any confidence regarding them that they can actually put it together?
I don't know. I really don't know, and I don't even think they know the hierarchy or even the manager or the players. It seems there's too much confusion to have a successful season.
Spurs went the other way last year. They looked really good for a spell early, and then wheels came off a little bit. But would you give them a chance? They play Leicester tomorrow night at top 4 this year. They play on Monday night.
Jeez, I don't know. Top 4 is becoming so difficult now. Like, you factor in the likes of Newcastle without European football. I think they're going to be a force this year. I really do. And today's result will help them massively. Tottenham, I'm not sure. They could have a decent season. I don't see them having enough to get top 4.
No.
They struggled last year. I don't think they've addressed enough of the issues that they had last year. But they'll be competitive, but I don't think they're good enough to get top 4.
Everton, 3-0 defeat at home to Brighton.
Yeah.
If you look at positive, might be.
I think Sean Dyche is just setting up his perfect scenario of just getting his back to the wall early.
Yeah, well, that's one thing. Yeah, there's no points deduction yet this season, so maybe he's just straight into.
People are looking at the Brighton manager as well. You have to mention him today. 31 years of age, first game in the Premier League, away to Goodison. You can imagine the atmosphere there today would be pretty special. It's their last season in that stadium, and he goes and wins 3-0 away from home.
Nice for those of us who'd like to see Jake O'Brien get fast-tracked into the starting lineup.
Well, I tell you, if you're a new centre-back and they get beat 3, it's perfect for you, You won't quite be knocking on the manager's door, having only just been signed, but at some point the manager's going, no, you're getting a goal, kid.
Yeah, on the other side of things, Brighton scoring a lot of goals without Evan Ferguson in the team. Yeah, we didn't get a chance to talk about the Irish players when we were sort of previewing the season before the show. Ferguson, I had to check it again this week. He's still only 19 years of age, but things did tail off last year. Would you expect him when he gets back starting, which is he's not far away apparently, that he can hit the ground running this year?
He needs a big year. Last year, he burst on the scene. Then he had a down year last year, but injuries compounded the situation. Deserve be questioned or hinted that maybe he needs to do a little bit more. Yeah. So I think it's a big. If he gets fit this year, he needs to have a big year and really show the maturity and the development that we all think that he has in him.
What is a big year? Like double figures goals, that kind of thing? Or?
Playing regularly. If he could get 20 starts under his belt, and I know it's going to be difficult with the attacking players that they have, but he has to accept that challenge now and think, right, where do I fit in this Brighton attack, and really get himself involved, score some goals and get minutes under his belt, because that's the only way he's going to develop, is getting minutes under his belt.
You confident he'll do that?
I hope so. I mean, it is tricky because you mentioned he's still so young and we expect so much. And a year ago, we're talking about this is the answer to all the problems with the Irish team. And Sammy Smodic, for example, has just signed for Ipswich North Premier League team. I mean, seen Liam Delap play as well, which I know he's played for England under 18s, but his dad, Rory Delap, we all know, played with, of course. I'd be, if I was the new manager, I'd be getting all these players.
Sign Liam Delap up. He's
a beast.
What I mean.
Get them on board. Liam Delap's quick, he's powerful, he's good, and he's a good finisher. All these.
I'm not sure I could do another.